Center for Teaching and Learning Professional Development presents Asking Good Questions. This video will demonstrate questioning strategies using Bloom's taxonomy as the foundation. The purpose of this training video is to support teachers as they foster the development of problem-solving and critical thinking skills in their students. Asking students questions is easy. The real difficulty is in asking questions that foster learning and increase the student's ability to think and problem solve. By using Bloom's taxonomy of learning as a scaffold, the teacher is able to build successively more difficult questions, moving the student to complex thinking. The 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy are: remembering, that's the recall of knowledge or information; understanding, comprehension of information and able to state it in their own words; applying, using information to apply to a new situation either in the lab setting or in real life; analyzing, determining the difference between facts and inferences; evaluating, making judgments about the material or ideas; and creating new meanings, processes, or structures. Each category is specific to one type of learning. These categories build on one another, moving from simple to more complex. When teachers question students, it's important to move the students beyond rote memory of facts and support their thinking process to ensure they understand the material, can apply the knowledge to real situations, are able to analyze and evaluate the situation, and make adjustments as necessary. It's also critical that students have a depth of understanding so that they can move beyond their current situation into creation of new processes or adaptation for future scenarios. The first level of Bloom's taxonomy of learning is remembering. Remembering questions are focused on students' ability to recall memorized data or information. This is rote learning. These questions start with words like define, how, what, when, where, name, match, recall, select, etc. Remembering questions are necessary to determine if the student has the basic information on board.
Hi Donnery, how are you?
I'm good, Franklin.
Good. Are you ready to tell me about your patient?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
My patient is Mr. Smith. He's in room B. He's 23 years old. He's diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. That's the reason he came in today.
Can you tell me a little bit more about type 1 diabetes?
Sure. Type 1 diabetes, it's usually called juvenile diabetes. It is the patient, they usually get that when you're younger.
What organ is affected? Where is this organ located, and what does that organ do?
Okay, so the organ will be the pancreas, and it is located at the back of the abdomen, just behind the stomach, and it helps with the production and circulation of insulin in the body, and insulin is a hormone.
Sounds like you're remembering your diabetes content quite well.
Thank you, Franklin.
You're welcome.
Understanding. Understanding or comprehension questions are focused on the student's ability to use their knowledge to explain something. These questions demonstrate understanding. Comprehension questions start with words like compare, contrast, explain, give me an example, paraphrase, summarize, etc. Comprehension questions are necessary to determine if the student understands the information they have learned. This is critical when applying to learning in a real situation.
Donnery, can you differentiate between type 1 and type 2 diabetes?
Okay, type 1 diabetes is not related to lifestyle issues like poor diet, lack of exercise, or obesity, but that's when the body stops producing insulin, therefore the patient will need insulin for the rest of their lives.
Can you explain to me type 2 diabetes?
Type 2 diabetes, on the other hand, is related to poor diet, lack of exercise, and obesity. And the body is not producing enough insulin to meet the body's demand. Therefore, with changes to your lifestyle and medication, the problem can be corrected.
Very good. It sounds like you really understand diabetes.
Thank you, Franklin.
You're welcome.
The next 2 levels of questions on Bloom's taxonomy are application and analysis questions. Application questions are important for a student to demonstrate use of information in a new situation. Application questions start with words like apply, consider, and how would you. Application questions are important to determine if students can use information to implement change, adjust, or improve outcomes for a patient or a technical situation.
Now that you've spent some time with your patient and reviewed the different types of diabetes, I want you to apply the principles of the Canada Food Guide to your type 1 diabetic patient to a menu appropriate for an 1800 caloric diet intake.
Okay. It sounds like it will take a bit of time because I will need to talk to my patient to see what his likes and dislikes are, what his activity level is, where he likes to eat, and then I will go to the Canada Food Guide to review it, and also I will review my bias notes and come up with that meal plan.
Very good. I'm glad that you know which resources to use. I'm really looking forward to your diet plan.
Okay, Franklin.
Analysis questions are important for a student to demonstrate they understand relationships between several key pieces of information. Analysis questions start with words like what if and explain rationale. Analysis questions are important for a student to demonstrate understanding of information and accurate application to a new situation.
So Franklin, here's the meal plan that I came up with for my diabetic patient on an 1800 caloric diet.
This looks really good. Now, I want you to predict something. What if your patient ate lunch at a fast food place while shopping at the mall? I want you to explain to me how this would affect their caloric intake.
Oh boy, Franklin, you're making me work so hard.
That's good. That's a good thing.
So, knowing what's served at fast food places or most fast food places, you've probably exceeded the daily requirement already. But I guess I would have to go find out what he ate and how much calorie that contains, and then adjust his meal plan.
Very good. I think you're probably right.
Okay.
The fifth level of Bloom's taxonomy is evaluating. Evaluation questions are important for a student to demonstrate the ability to look back at a situation, accurately see the situation, assess the situation, and justify the results. Evaluation is a high level of thinking. However, humans are often forced to evaluate events in life out of necessity, most often when something goes wrong. Connecting this skill to real-life application is worth the time and effort. Evaluation questions start with words like appraise, decide, evaluate, and justify. Evaluation questions are important for a student to accurately look back on a situation, review the situation, and if necessary, re-synthesize or rework factors to get back on track.
The adjustments you've made for your client's habit of eating out are very thorough. I really like what I see. Now, let's take this a step further. Can you appraise your 1800 caloric intake considering that your client has been on this diet for 6 weeks? Tell me what you can expect to see.
Okay. So I would talk to the client to see if he is following the meal plan.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would check his weight to see if he lost any weight. Then I would also monitor his or look at his daily blood sugars to see if they were a little bit more stable. And then I'd like to compare his data prior to starting the 6-week meal plan.
Very good. It sounds like you have a very solid plan to evaluate the success of your patient's weight loss program. Keep it up.
Thank you, Franklin.
You're welcome.
The final level of Bloom's taxonomy is creating. Synthesis questions are important for a student to demonstrate the ability to combine information and develop new structure or predict outcomes. Synthesis is a high-level skill, and students should demonstrate all other Bloom's taxonomy thinking prior to the challenge of synthesis questions. Synthesis questions start with words like create, generalize, plan, and predict. Synthesis questions are important for a student to demonstrate they can manipulate information and create a new strategy for different or unique situations appropriately.
From your appraisal of your client's 1800 caloric diet intake in the last 6 weeks, I want you to create a weight loss and exercise program that will continue the reduction of his overall body weight by 20% in the next 6 months.
This is going to take a lot of work because I'd have to do some modification. During my assessment this morning, I found out that Mr. Smith is going on a vacation in the next 3 weeks to Europe. I don't think he wants to be on a strict meal plan because going on a vacation, you're exposed to a variety of different delicious foods. So I would have to make some adjustments to work around that and create a different meal plan for him.
Imagine how helpful your plan will be both from a weight loss standpoint and also for him to be able to achieve optimal health as a diabetic. Thank you very much, Donnery.
Thanks, Franklin.
In conclusion, utilization of Bloom's taxonomy of learning will help the student improve thinking and application strategies. The student will develop clinical reasoning or technical savvy as they become accustomed to prediction and manipulation of information in new situations. The 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy are: remembering, that's the recall of knowledge or information; understanding, comprehension of information and able to state it in their own words; applying, using information to apply to a new situation either in the lab setting or in real life; analyzing, determining the difference between facts and inferences; evaluating, making judgments about the material or ideas; and creating new meanings, processes, or structures.